Hey there, Lisa, Half Asian Tarot Queen, and I'm here to do a daily reading. So this one will be for, the intention is around Monday, the 18th of November, but I should say that basically all the readings that I do are timeless, and I'm kind of arranging the readings according to storyline on this channel instead of according to date, because or by zodiac sign, just because I'm doing this with other priorities in mind, and I feel like I'm semi-regular but pretty consistent, and I think, it's been interesting to just watch how the stories unfold and the threads of the stories unfold, because they all seem to have an interrelatedness to them that's pretty elegant. And so, yeah, I'm just kind of trying to let that be the guide. And I did a video on the main part of the channel that sort of explains all this. So if you have questions about it, then you can just refer to that video, because it just kind of explains how all the videos on this channel are organized, and yeah, so I would just go to that. Okay, so I had a lot of overall energies fall out, and it's like a lot more than usual, but I'm just gonna go with it. So we have the Ten of Swords, the Hierophant, the Page of Swords, and the Lovers. So this is really interesting because, well, it definitely harkens back to some storylines that have been unfolding for sure. So, this is obviously the end of a cycle of oppression and just being overwhelmed with sadness and grief. And then the Hierophant, this is kind of an institutional card. Sometimes it refers to a marriage. In the context of these other cards, like, I'm kind of taking this as like the end of some sort of, family dynamic or structure. It's coming to an end, and it seems like there's a relationship with some sort of truth being revealed. This is kind of like a message of truth. And this also can be an indication of like a stalker card. And so there's definitely a thread that's been going in the storylines around stalkers, and you can follow that thread. And in the last couple weeks, there's been this storyline about this empire being born out of the ashes of some sort of destruction. And there was an epic love story that had been oppressed for some time, and there was a truth that came out and sort of upended this already existing structure when this truth came out. And it seemed to be related to some sort of stalker that had been, it was coming to justice. And so you can go back and look on the week of Birth of an Empire. There's like Dynasty, the Next Generation, the Murakami Climax. Like, those videos, I think, kind of speak to that storyline really specifically. But, there's the end of some sort of family structure. There's some sort of stalker, and then there's the Lovers, so it definitely seems like a transition from maybe some sort of family dynamic that had been in place for some time, and into some sort of like new love relationship. So this could be speaking to this epic love story that had been oppressed, and that is also a thread on the channel, and I think it's just called Epic Love Story. So that we'll get into the cards and see where this goes, but these are some related threads that you might search out on the channel. So On the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Wands, which is like a fast-moving message of truth, you know. So definitely, this is a theme that's going around this week. Some harsh truths being revealed and causing some major shakeups and changes in structure and yeah, interesting stuff. So I'm going to pull some cards of energies. Oh my gosh, I did not mean to pull this many. I'll just take the top 3. Okay, interesting. There's a video in the stalker thread, and it was talking about how a lot of times those situations are born out of some sort of situation involving lack. You know, either you yourself have some sort of feeling of lack that you're carrying around, like feeling unworthy or feeling not enough, and you know, harboring that feeling in yourself can attract situations that are imbalanced like this, toxic situations. So, you know, the first step in like healing a situation like this is to actually, you know, heal that issue with yourself. There's another video in the stalker thread that kind of spoke to that. Whoa, okay, dramatic. And then we have the Hierophant on the bottom of this deck too. So that's really interesting because there's obviously some big paradigm shifts that are happening in some sort of, you know, family unit or structure or dynamic because it's definitely coming out a bunch. So, okay. So we have the 5 of Pentacles. So I was just talking about that and the feeling of lack and how this can create an imbalance in a toxic situation and attract situations like this. Then we have the Ace of Pentacles. So this looks like a new opportunity that's coming online, and often this can be like a financial opportunity. And then the 4 of Swords. So it's interesting because I was just kind of talking about this when we were shuffling, but it's just like, you know, by sort of taking this time to contemplate on this feeling and heal it within yourself, you know, you'll create a new air of abundance, you know, and be able to attract abundance to yourself. And in doing that, you're going to heal, you know, your external world and your internal world, and hopefully not be attracting these kinds of imbalanced, toxic situations anymore. You know, you have to heal yourself to heal the world around you. So that's interesting because that leads right into this next row, which is, you know, the 10 of Swords again. So we got the 10 of Swords and the Hierophant twice. So there's clearly some sort of end to some era of suffering that's related to some, you know, family dynamic or structure. We have the Queen of Wands. So this is a passionate, fiery queen. You know, it can be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but doesn't have to be, can just embody that energy. But, you know, she can also be seen as the other woman, you know. And then we have the Tower. So this definitely seems to confirm, you know, what's going on with the overall energies, because it looks like there's the end of suffering, you know, and there's some sort of situation involving another woman that's causing a total Tower moment, a shakedown, breakdown of some sort of family structure. There's a stalker, and then there's another love relationship, you know. So it's like there's this really toxic situation that's being healed, and this is causing the breakdown of a long-standing structure, and it's really dramatic. So that's pretty interesting, you know. This seems, we have a Virgo Hermit card on the bottom of the deck, so this is kind of taking time to reflect and heal, you know. learn some lessons so that you can kind of come back to a situation and evolve from it, which, you know, it looks like that's kind of where we're at. It looks like that's already happened, and there's like a re-engagement that's happening, and there's like a letting go of this structure that's not working. Oh my gosh. Right when I said that, these two cards fall out. The Ten of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune. So this is like letting go of burdens, and this is like a destined change of course. So yeah, there's definitely some toxic situations that are being healed, and it looks like a big letting go, and like, oh my God. And then I get the Five of Pentacles again. So it's just like, we're letting go of a burden. We're letting go of this lack situation that's been holding us back. And we're stepping into a new era. So there's a lot of healing happening, it looks like. And this is kind of lending itself to, you know, a new beginning in love, it looks like. So that's really interesting. I'm going to pull a card from the Sacred Traveler Oracle and see if we can get any other words of wisdom here. But super interesting. And yeah, just as a human, I can say that, like, I mean, this is like the period of Mercury in retrograde. So this is kind of like a period of reevaluation and change, you know, of relationships. And yeah. Okay. Interesting. I'm going to pull 1, 2 more. Okay. So yeah, so there's obviously a lot of tumult happening. This can be an unsettling moment to walk through for sure. But the advice we have is surrendering to the journey, release control. You know, we just kind of have to walk through this and let go of our expectations for what the outcomes are going to be. And then we have watching clouds, lie back, rest, relax. So yeah, I think, you know, we need to take the time to heal from these lacking situations so that we can bring in our abundance. And that's kind of the overall lesson. And, you know, in doing that and healing these situations, you know, it's like you heal these situations on the inside, and then it causes a tower shake-up moment in your external world because you're no longer resonating with, you know, the old situation. So it can be really dramatic, but, you know, in the long run, it's worth the effort, you know. And that's kind of what this is saying. It's just like, you know, don't get too hung up on all the fireworks and everything that's going on. You know, just try to relax and enjoy the journey, because ultimately it's going to a better place. So that's the advice for today. Good luck with that, and we'll check back later.